Restrictions such as these were commonplace in Britain. Shops and homes were regularly damaged as the players rampaged through towns. Many died from their wounds.
You can almost write the history of the game, folk game of football, in terms of people trying to stop it, of local authority issuing edicts, royals issuing proclamations against it, colleges trying to stop their members playing it, because it's turbulent, because it's violent, because it poses a threat to law and order on that particular day when the games take place.
As early as 1314, King Edward II banned football in London, proclaiming, "Forasmuch as there is a great noise in the city, caused by hustling over large balls, from which many evils might arise, which, God forbid, we commend and forbid such a game to be used in the city in future." Edward's descendants were equally dismissive. Henry V waged war against it, as did Henry VIII, who believed it was distracting young men from their archery. Yet neither could stop football being played. And when, in the 19th century, football finally received a fatal blow, it was not an act of man, but of machinery.
The threat that folk football posed to the rise of an urban society in the early 19th century was serious in a way. You can't have the old games that have been played in a kind of pre-industrial environment, played in the great expanding urban industrial centres. Local towns and cities pass acts and pieces of legislation to curb the old traditional games from being played in their own towns and on their streets. This is a world where football has to find a new location to be played. The old folk game is dead.
The game was rescued from oblivion by the public schools of England, who were in turn endeavouring to save themselves. In the 1850s, most were struggling with falling admissions and violent pupils. Students rioted, burnt down classrooms, and attacked locals. The teachers, many of them vicars, were horrified.
Given the mentalities of the pupils at the time, and given their lack of personal self-control, that frame of mind had to be changed. And so emerged as a form of social control the process of turning hooligans into heroes. And the essence of reform was the playing field. And the rationale behind this was very simple. If you beat hell out of each other on the games field, you weren't quite so predisposed to beating hell out of the villagers or the local inhabitants.
Religion became the backbone of this sporting revolution. Muscular Christianity, the belief that sports were a useful aspect of religious training, taught boys that a fit body bred a fit mind, that fair play and teamwork on the playing field promoted moral fortitude. Each school evolved its own version of football. Some, like Harrow, favoured a kicking game, while others, such as Rugby School, were allowed to handle, run and hack down opponents. This rich diversity was to become the starting point for the modern game.
I think the public school teams firstly kept the games going, and then probably the real significance is at the moments at which public school boys went to university together, or when they left school, left university, and wanted to carry on playing the games, and therefore needed an agreed form of the games to play, and that's what leads us into the codification of football.